Hi guys, this is Drunken Deer here. We're just going to do talk about Oathmark and a bit of F.A.Q that's been delivered by the North Star about what's going on with the miniatures and what you can expect. So as we know, it's a miniature mass battle fantasy game, and we know it's going to be set in a sort of a scenario where you get more army as you play along, kind of like the Season of War, I think, for Age of Sigmar. Very similar style. So I've got a FAQ in front of me, so let's have a read, shall we? So there's only 4 races at the moment: goblins, dwarves, elves, and humans. So the ones that are out at the moment are the dwarf infantry and the goblin infantry, which is after this video I'll put up. So yes, might be orcs, there might be some sort of beast thing, there might be the snake men, who knows. But as if it gets more popular, I'm sure they will release more stuff. So next question, will there be cavalry, war machines, etc.? So more troop types are planned for all of the races. It would not be much of a mass battle game otherwise. No brainer. So what about mixed forces? Now not Frostgrave. Now So what about mixed forces? Well, we got basically in Oathmark you're allowed to have any army you would like. The rules have not been released yet, but as it stands, you can have orcs or goblins with dwarves. It does not matter. I am sure there's going to be some sort of leadership thing involved because your army is a bit more diverse, a bit more harder to control. So having a single army will probably let you have you'll get like leadership points, etc. Obviously, I've never even read the rules. They're not even out, or any beta or alpha rules. So there is no system to go by of what they're doing. Basically what it says about mixed forces is, if you want a human-elf alliance, go for it. If you want a goblin king to command a force of dwarf mercenaries, you've got it. Or if you want a straightforward one-race army, that's obviously fine too. So when's the game out? Not for a while. It's currently in development, and we'll keep using this page with more information as it goes. And it's referring to the Facebook page. Check out designer Joseph McCulloch's blog as well. I don't use blogs. There was someone who talked about blogging a while ago. I think it's kind of an old man's game, to be honest. It's not really my thing. But kudos if you do it, because I think it's a bit of a waste of time, to be honest. Anyway, back to the FAQs, eh? What dice does the game use? D10s. Well, that means I'm going to have to go to the shop and buy some D10s, because I have no idea what they're going to do with them. I know Frostgrave obviously uses D20s, and Age of Sigmar or Warhammer uses D6s. So D10s is an interesting choice. Now, next question. How many figures per side? Here we go. 30 per side, which is the contents of the box, which will be shown, will give you a perfectly good warband level battle. Oathmark is, however, a mass battle fantasy rank and flank game at its heart. So it's a Kings of War style game, and a campaign system that will build up your force number in the hundreds. So this is going to be very interesting if they can pull this off. As I've said in my previous video. How big are the units? A lot will depend on the unit in the question. Obviously elites, core, that sort of thing. Your higher ranking heavy hitting units will probably be a smaller warband. But it says 1 to 20 is normal. Individual casualty removal is a yes. What is basing like? Now this is a very interesting question that they put out, because it's important for myself, especially for Frostgrave. Oathmark is designed for individual bases, mostly 25mm square bases. Supplied with the models are not intended While not intended for use with the rules, smaller bases, round bases, and even multiple figure element bases could be used with a bit of work. So they're open to the idea, which is excellent, because I am not changing my round bases for Frostgrave, and I'm actually kind of interested in using some. So movement trays, sabot bases, and some kind of tracker for wounds might be necessary for the instances of uses, however. Can I use these in Frostgrave? Here we go. Sure, just as you can use any figures. What's more, most of the components are compatible between the Oathmark and the Frostgrave kits, which I've covered in my video after this. If converting is your thing. We'll see X from Frostgrave or in Oathmark, vice versa, with rules, etc. Oathmark is a new setting and is not part of the Frostgrave world, although it comes from the same designer, shares certain design philosophies, etc. Frostgrave isn't, however, suddenly going to see official rules for goblins and dwarves, nor are wizard schools are going to appear in Oathmark. That basically means in the rules for Frostgrave, you have like colleges of magic and stuff. That's not going to be in Oathmark. But I have a hunch that some of the kits that are compatible are going to be brought into Oathmark. And saying that, Oathspray games have a good history of rule design. And as I've said, I think it's going to be a lot better than Kings of War. Just needs some support, so this is why I'm doing these videos. If you want to support Oathmark, or at least give it a try, then I suggest you keep following, because I think in the end it's going to be either one of those games that's going to take off, or, which is more probable, it'll be the sort of game that not many people play, but when they play it, it'll be far superior in terms of rules and mechanics and enjoyable than the more popular variants of mass battle games. So anyway, that's the news for the Oathmark. I also have one bit of other news which I'll put at the end of this video, and that is the designs for the elves and the humans for Oathmark have been released with some pictures. So I'll put the pictures at the end of this video, and as you can see, there's a very, very stark similarity between the old 3rd edition elves and the new Oathmark elves, because funnily enough, the designers are the same as far as I'm aware. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed watching that video. I know it was a bit of a readout, but that's kind of an FAQ for you. That's how it's done. Enjoy the video afterwards for the Goblin Sprue. I hope you sort of make the most of it, and like I said, sort of get involved in some other games and don't stick with the same one if you're not enjoying it, because that's just silly. You don't do a hobby if you don't enjoy it. That's just plain silly, isn't it? Anyway, enough ranting. Adios.